Good morning, everybody. We're back. I think this is 3 shows in a row for us live. I've been a little bit under the weather recently. I'm feeling really good now, and we're going to have a great show. It's too bad we had to be off the air for so long because we've had a lot of excitement in the automotive world. Well, we've had a lot of excitement in the whole world, as a matter of fact. And we're going to try to share some of the pertinent, necessary information with you. I probably think we're going to dwell a lot on should I buy a car now if I need one. And basically, we're talking about a new car, and it's as you know, if you're thinking about buying anything today with this tariff controversy, this tariff confusion in the world. People don't know whether to buy a tube of toothpaste, much less a $40,000, $50,000, $60,000 new car. So we've got some answers for you, and we're going to give you some information that we hope can use, and we ask your input. And if you haven't listened to this show before, the thing you probably don't know, among other things, is that we have a cadre, a group, a following in this show. You know, we've been doing it for 20 years plus, and we have people out there that have been with the show for a long time, some probably pretty close to 20 years. And we have people that are extremely knowledgeable. I sometimes say we're preaching to the choir because we are offering information that a lot of people really know, and they contribute more to the show than they get from the show. I'm glad they enjoy doing that because we need them. So you regulars out there, thanks for sticking with us for all this time, and we've got some we've got some questions for you. We have questions from the audience, and I think that as I said before, the big question is should we buy a car? I'm going to give you a quick answer right now. Maybe it'll stimulate a little bit of interest in hanging out with us for a while. If you are going to buy a new car in the reasonable near future, it should be the nearer future. I would suggest that you consider buying a new car within the next 30 days. That doesn't mean you rush right out and buy a new car. If you're a regular listener, you know better than that. But if you're going to buy a car, if you need a car, if you need a new car, consider buying it within the next 30 days. That'll give you time to do your research and listen to the show once or twice, or text us or email us or whatever you want to do. We'll help any way we can. But if you wait a month or two, for all the authoritative sources I've checked, including ChatGPT and a lot of other sources, although that's the very best one, maybe Consumer Reports, I've checked the sources, and they say buy a new car before the trade war escalates. Of course, it de-escalates the next day and escalates the day after, so it's confusion. And there's nothing worse than confusion and lack of knowledge and speculation on the stock market or in the buying of a product, especially an expensive product like a car. So this show, I think, will be extremely valuable to you if you're thinking about buying a car, because you should buy it pretty soon. I'm going to give this number out too much, and so will Nancy Stewart, my co-host, and so will Rick Kearney, our certified diagnostic master technician, and my son, Stu Stewart, who will be dropping in shortly. And the number to call the show is 877-960-9960. 877-960-9960. And don't expect you to be calling right now, but if you do call, we try our very best to answer the phone immediately. And if we have other callers ahead of you, Nancy Stewart has a laptop. She's looking at it right now. Actually, she's looking at her iPhone right now. And if she gets notice that our caller's waiting, she alerts the troops. That's Rick and me and Stu and herself. And we stop talking and we go to the callers. We try to get to all the callers all the time. We're not perfect, and we don't do it. We apologize to those that have had to wait too long, but we try very hard. And the call on the real telephone, the old-fashioned telephone, is just, we've had a lot of changes in our lives in the past few years, but I think most of us, and we carry phones in our pockets. I mean, we like phones. And there's a personality that comes through on a phone that doesn't come through as well in a text or an email. So we've got a lot of great personalities and smart people out there that we love to call the show. And 877-960-9960. I suggest you write it down because we're a 2-hour show. We are 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you're probably in the car now. And if you're not, you're probably doing something more important. And whatever you're doing, you'll come back to the show. The average listener or watcher, because we're streaming also, we're streaming on YouTube and Facebook. The average viewer and listener is listening or viewing for about 15 minutes. So, you're in and out about 8 times. I mean, others are in and out 8 times. If we are repetitive on the show, it's because the people that are listening right now probably aren't going to be listening in 45 minutes or even a half an hour. So you're going to write this number down, please. 877-960-9960. That's 877-960-9960. Now, for those that are, maybe you're a little nervous about being on live radio. We were for a long time. Some of us still are for a little bit. I mean, a little nervousness and excitement can get the best out of people. I think athletes, certainly when they're performing, and entertainers, they have a little adrenaline going. We do. We got adrenaline going, and I think it makes for a better performance. But if you'd rather not get on live radio, text us. And our text number is 772-497-6530. Again, our text number is 772-497-6530, and we will gather these texts and get to them periodically through the show. If there's a lull in the phone calls or a lull in us yakking at you, and we'll try to get to those texts. We have some fantastic texters out there. They give us a text sometimes in advance and ahead of time, and Anne Marie is our number one texter. Viewers, we have a whole bunch of really great viewers, most of them on YouTube. And Rick Kearney, our certified diagnostic master technician, knows more about a car than anybody I know. He checks the YouTube all the time. That's youtube.com/Earl on Cars. So if you really want to get in with a bunch of people that are regular watchers and very knowledgeable, and call the show often with great information that we don't know about, you get to youtube.com/Earl on Cars. We're also on facebook.com/Earl on Cars, facebook.com/Earl on Cars. So you can watch us, you can listen to us, you can do anything you want, and I promise you, you will get something valuable. If you haven't listened to the show before. If you have, you probably know you'll pick up something, or maybe you'll contribute something valuable. I'm going to turn the microphone over to Nancy Stewart. As I said before, she co-founded this show with me about 20 years ago, and she did something that is probably, if she hadn't done it, the show probably wouldn't be on the air. She built the female audience from almost literally zero to about 50-50 today. And we have some incredible female callers, about half of them. And most talk shows, especially this type of talk show on automobiles, in the past has been almost an old man's club, or even a young man's club, but mainly an old man's club. And now we have young, old, male, female, and the females, we can thank Nancy Stewart. She's going to tell you something that will make you understand why so many females are calling the show. She has a special offer that she'll pass along to you now. So, Nancy, the microphone is all yours.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to Earl on Cars. I'm going to mention what Earl was talking about earlier, when to buy a vehicle. And, I'd like to ask the audience to join us this morning and giving us a call and let us know how you feel about the Amazon auto buying. It's just, I think it's just a win-win situation right now, and some of the key benefits of purchasing through the Amazon Auto program is the transparency, the no haggle. There's so many things, so seamless on what an online experience. It just cuts out the room for deception, and some of you guys know what I'm talking about.
Now, right now they're selling Hyundais, but no other makes. But eventually, and I think that's going to spread where they'll eventually sell all makes of new cars, but we'll find out.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the Hyundai. Also, another key bit of information is that what was it, $2,300 for an Amazon? They offer you an Amazon gift card.
$2,500.
Is it 25? Okay, I have $2,300.
That was probably my handwriting. Bad
for an
handwriting,
Amazon gift card. So, any rate, but what you have to remember is that you can take advantage of that. Today's the 12th of April. You have until the 15th. Give us a call. Let us know if you would take advantage if you're looking for, what they have to offer, which is the Hyundai. Another bit of information this morning is our dog of the week. We have Sapphire. What a pretty name. Sapphire's a female, and she's going to be with us later on in the show.
What's that name again?
Sapphire.
Sapphire. Sapphire was the wife on Amos and Andy years ago, yeah.
Our minds are still working. So much to look into, so much knowledge out there. But you know something? I want to tell you, I fact check everything now. I don't care where I am, ChatGPT or any other venue. So anyway, you can be in control right now. You don't have to fall victim to the tariffs, to everything that's changing. And how can you do that? Just do your homework, because as I always say, knowledge is power. Our number here is 877-960-9960, and you can text us at 772-497-6530. Don't forget your anonymous feedback. We love hearing from everyone who takes advantage of your anonymous feedback. Anything else I have to say? We'll discuss it later. We're going to go to the phones where, hold on. Can't go to the phones yet. $50 for the first two lady callers. $50 for the first two lady callers. And I have to tell you that it's really an important time to really know what you want to purchase before you go into the dealership, that you just, go to your PC and just absorb all of the knowledge and power that you can accumulate before making that decision, because there's more than just the bottom line, the cost of the car. What's it cost to keep that car on the road? There's so many questions. It's just amazing. We're going to go to Doug, and Doug is giving us a call from Boca. Good morning, Doug.
Good morning. And Ella is a fan of your show, too. And I miss you guys in the morning and hope you come back soon. And I have a question. I have a friend that wants to purchase a car because his other car is a 4Runner, and it's got now 140,000 miles on it. It's still going good. And I told him that maybe because of the tariffs, what's going to happen is it's going to be prohibited prices to buy a new car. And then on the used cars, maybe the used cars would go up in price also. I want to know your opinion on that.
Well, you gave him some good information, Doug. It's the used car would be a better price They will be affected, of course, because new and used car prices are pretty much linked. When the new car prices begin to go up, the used car prices, for obvious reasons, also go up. But they creep up. I said earlier in my introduction that if you're going to buy a new vehicle, I'd recommend you buy it within the next 30 days based on the craziness in the world with tariffs. The tariff war, we're at war with China. But it's a tariff war, and of course we're to some extent with. But with the used vehicle, I think you could do 60, 90 days before you're going to have to worry about the lapping over from the new car soaring in price to the used car. And I always feel that a good used car that you check out carefully, late model, certified maybe, is a much better value and almost as good as a brand new car. So that's what, if he were my friend, that's exactly what I would say. Go with a used car, but don't wait more than 90 days.
And then one more thing: is it possible that well, I got a car from you guys, and I was just wondering if someone wants to buy a new car like in 2 months, is it possible that it's going to go up by 20% or 10%? I mean, do we even know?
I would say, and again, I use would because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow on the news. I mean, they're going to have a cabinet meeting, or there's going to be a press conference, or there's going to be the leader of China will fly over, or our leader will fly over there. So it's like watching the stock market. I mean, you can't miss it even if you're not in the stock market. The market is making record moves in both directions, and that's the way our tariff expectations are. So I think that you're better off on the. I think new car prices could soar thousands of dollars. I mean, worst case scenario, I can easily see the average used car going up in price by $3,000 to $5,000. That's a lot of dollars.
Okay, I appreciate you guys, and Ella says meow to you.
Hey, Ella, and I'll be back on the beach, Doug. I'm feeling much better, and so is Nancy, and we'll see you out on the beach pretty soon, sooner than you think.
Okay, love you both. Thank you, guys.
Thanks
Thanks
Doug. We
a lot,
love
Doug.
you too.
And if you get a chance, take a look at the Consumer Report for March and April. Also take a look at the Auto Edition for 2025 to give you a lot of answers, Doug. Our number here is 877-960-9960, and you can text us at 772-497-6530. More important right now is that you can go out and you can find yourself a mechanic. And a couple of weeks ago, I shared some information with all of you about the Gallup poll. And the Gallup poll, boy, I'll tell you what, they really gave mechanics. The survey that they did was amazing, and 33% of Americans rated the honesty and the ethics of the mechanics. And boy, I'll tell you what, they got some stars, about 5, as a matter of fact. So it's, you still got to keep your eyes open, do your homework. Yes, Rick?
We're above the lobbyists. We're above the lobbyists.
That's quite a statement. So anyway, that's good news. There's some good news out there, and you can also not be taken advantage of by these car dealers that are going to take advantage of the tariffs and everything in between. But you are still in control. Our number here is 877-960-9960, and you can text us at 772-497-6530. Back to the recovering car dealer.
Well, my son Stu just walked in the door, and that's good because I was going to ask him a question. He charges he coordinates and interprets is a good word, the mystery shopping report.
Right.
And
Yes, it's good term.
and I was thinking out loud, or actually to myself, we're talking about Amazon and the fact that they are offering a $2,500 gift incentive. In other words, you get a gift certificate if you buy a new Hyundai from them by April 15th.
That's my notes.
And there's not much. There's not much time left, as you know, and April 15th is almost upon us. And so it's a quick time. I'd normally never tell anybody to go out and buy a car within the next 3 days. But
And if you can buy an electric EV Hyundai,
yeah.
you get a bunch of money coming.
So here's a legitimate deal. This is the first of, we hope to be many. And so I was going to say to Stu, let's have Agent Lightning, if possible, actually buy a Hyundai, and we'll just have to figure out how to manipulate the $2,500 gift certificate, and we can work with Agent Lightning on that, and we will actually buy one. And as many cars as Agent Lightning buys, she might want to keep it, but if she doesn't, we will have, and we are a car dealership. We have a Hyundai. We have a Toyota dealership for many years, so we could sell that as a used car. And I think with the $2,500 off, we would treat the gift certificate as cash off because we buy so much from Amazon, the company, and personally, our families buy a lot from Amazon. So to me, it's just as good as a cash rebate. But we'll see how that goes. Amazon is offering a discounted price. They control the price. When you buy a car from Amazon, you don't have any junk fees. You don't have any dealer-installed accessories. The advertised price, I'll even finance the car for you. And the advertised price on Amazon is the price you pay.
Right. The last time we delved into that, there were some problems.
With a dealer.
Yeah, it was Hyundai of Coconut Creek, I believe.
Yeah, I
Was
think
that
you're
the
right.
one?
I think you're right.
And it might have been, I'll reread the report, but I think it might have been like the first days of it, or maybe they just got on it, and nobody really seemed to know. It was similar to a Costco experience where like, well, what's the Amazon price? And
Yeah.
they said, well, we'll match it, and
Well, if you're going to buy a car, and 3 days is a quick time to make your mind up about Hyundai. Hyundai builds good cars, and if you check consumer reports and you get some good information on the vehicle that would be best for you, quality, safety, etc., I would feel comfortable about going and buying a Hyundai.
right now there's probably a handful of people listening that are going to buy a Hyundai anyway.
Yeah, well, don't wait 4 days because you won't get the
No,
25.
do it now.
Yeah, do it now, and we will do a shopping report. We hope, and we will see. We will try to do it the right way by nailing Amazon down for what the price should be, the out the door price
And we got to do this on by Tuesday.
by Tuesday. Yeah.
Yeah,
No problem.
Tuesday, April 15th, and that is a $2,300 gift card.
Okay, I think it's 2,500.
You could take,
It's not. It's 23. Okay.
That's a strange number.
Yeah, there's a strange number.
Yeah.
I confirmed
It
all
would
my
normally
sources.
be easy to correct if I had been giving out the wrong number so many times. So,
Hey,
yeah,
you know,
2,300 is it?
2,500 sounds better,
Yeah.
but I guess
And also, you can take advantage of not only the $2,300 gift card, but the incentives. There's so many reasons to go to the Amazon, auto buying, because it's just a win-win situation if you're looking for a Hyundai. So that's all I have to say about that gift card. Back to the recovering car dealer.
Okay, our number, you'll hear it more than you want to hear because we have a special preference for you callers out there. And our new callers, we love. Nancy just mentioned to the audience that if you are a female and you haven't called the show before, then if you do call the show, we're going to send you $50. Nancy personally will write the check out and personally mail it to you. And if you haven't called the show before and you're female, you can pick up $50. Give it to charity if you don't need $50.
Yeah.
Most of us do need $50, or give it to your granddaughter or Rick. Give it. Rick wants to say, "Give it to me," right?
No.
Hey, why not? But
Big dog.
I just playing around here. I went on Amazon, and I put in a search for a 25 Hyundai Santa Cruz, and I noticed something. They list the price on each one, and then it says like this particular one, an XRT. It's located at Coconut Creek Hyundai, and it says $41,212, excluding government fees, taxes, and $958 in dealer fees. And as I'm looking through the various cars, each one shows how much the dealer fee is that's added on. Like here's one for Bremen Hyundai down in Miami that's $1,823.50 in dealer fees, and another one like in Deerfield that's $1,018
Well,
in
this is
dealer
just like
fees.
this is
Those
just
are pretty
like,
prominent. I'm sorry. Those are pretty prominent, right? Is it like plus?
It's literally here's the price, and right
It
underneath it,
sounds like they're trying to comply with like state laws because
They're-
they're trying to get that up in their like immediate disclosure, same size.
they're immediately
and-
saying,
Yeah, this is like
Immediate
Costco.
disclosure.
This is like Costco.
Yeah.
And we have this discussion every time we talk about Costco. But the point is, there's nothing wrong with
no,
a
no.
dealer fee.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with a junk fee. And this is something that's hard for people to understand. The threat of a junk fee or a dealer fee or whatever you want to call it is when they sneak it in on you after they advertise a price that includes the dealer
Right.
fee. So you'll find these when they're forced to publish on Amazon their dealer fee, they have to adjust the price if they want to. If they don't want to sell any cars, then they don't have to adjust the price. But if they want to be
Right.
competitive, and if you're on Amazon, what's the point of going on Amazon if you're not going to be competitive? And they therefore will say, add this dealer fee.
Right. The point I was trying to make. I think we all understand that.
Well, not our audience, though.
It-
I
it's
know.
just
I know.
very
I think you're telling Rick
transparent.
that. I'm just kidding. I said the Amazon has to, despite what Hyundai of Coconut Creek wants to do, they have to abide by the law.
Yeah.
And so they're abiding by the law
exactly,
in
yeah.
Florida, and then whatever state you pull it up in, it's going to abide by that law.
Exactly.
I just thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
that
No,
there
I
it is.
think that-
Yeah, I knew that was your point.
You know,
It's-
I think the times are changing. Did you ever think that you'd be pulling up something like that a year ago, 2 years ago?
No, but I mean,
that's
it's so
just-
easy to
yeah,
compare
it's just
the
amazing.
different ones that
and
way.
Like you said, you know, they don't want to break the law, so they're going to get the customer in whatever way they can, you know, by posting that.
Yeah, Costco really could learn from Amazon because Costco is allowing the dealers to put this information on a members only kind of a price sheet. And so they go through the Costco program and prices aren't discussed at all. Then they go into the dealership to say, I'm a Costco member. And if they're lucky, they get an honest salesperson that introduces them to the printed price sheet by Costco. If they're not lucky, the salesperson just says, I'm a Costco representative and this is the price, but they don't see the real price. When you see the price sheet and car dealership of a Costco participating member, they will have the dealer installed accessories, they will have the junk fees, and they'll have dealer fees. They're known by many names. So again, full cycle, we go back to the subject of this. When you go through the process of buying a car at Amazon, which would be a Hyundai only today, eventually, I'm predicting you'll be able to buy almost every make car from Amazon. But then when you're going through the process right now, they will say dealer fees are this much. And it might be a lot of money like Rick just went through. And we're in South Florida, remember, because South Florida is the Sodom and Gomorrah of automobile dealerships. And they have some dealer fees that'll knock your socks off. I think I heard Rick mention one of $2,500. So and there's probably some higher than that. That was probably Al Hendrickson. I think he's,
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So anyway,
okay.
good news, and we're going to try to mystery shop before Tuesday and actually buy
Great idea.
a Hyundai, and we'll report back next Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. And I think Agent Lightning can pull it off. I hear she needs another vehicle.
A quick note
Okay.
from Donovan here. He says there is one big reason to not use Amazon to get a Hyundai EV. You cannot apply the $7,500 EV tax credit at the time of sale. So if you qualify for it, you would have to wait to get it later.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So that's only a time loss of money, sort of a thing on that. But you don't lose the rebate or the
actual credit.
tax credit. You just don't get it as quickly. Yeah.
Right. Just a good word of caution there. I mean,
Absolutely. I love Donovan.
Yeah.
He knows. Donovan, hang on for a while, because Nancy and I have some exciting comments about our autonomous driving trips. You'll love to hear some of this.
Yeah. Okay, I'm multitasking over here. Let me get to the ladies real quick. I mentioned earlier $50 for the first 2 new lady callers. You simply, this is so important that you call for so many reasons, not just for the $50, but the fact that, you're letting your voice be heard. And there are a lot of women who are listening to this show right now, and you give them the courage to call in. So you can win the $50 for the first 2 new lady callers. You can help me build the platform here. And also, we can share whether you purchased a vehicle, you're looking for a vehicle. It's a win-win situation. The number here is 772. I'm sorry, that's the text number. The toll-free number is 877-960-9960. But you can also text us at 772-497-6530. We are going to go to the phones, go back to Boca to speak with Shim. Good morning. Welcome. Welcome to Earl on Cars.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to hear from you.
Good to hear your voices. Doug and I love listening to you guys and get so much information, and appreciate you both so much.
Thank you.
Really so much fun. I have like a weird thing that happened, and nobody probably ever thinks about. You put your key on the keychain, and it's there for your car, and then all of a sudden I'm in my car a few days ago, and I'm trying to start my car, and it won't start. I was like, what is going on? Doug just started my car. He didn't have any problem. What's going on? And I see this little thing on the dash, and it says something like, check your memory something. And it's like, what? And it's my remote, like, check your memory thing. And I look over, and my key fob is missing. All I have left on my keychain is just the metal part of the key.
Oh, no.
Oh, my God. What do I do now?
Yeah.
I've been looking for it and looking for it and looking for it, and I can't believe how expensive they are and how many different kinds there are out there. And
Rick, what do you think?
Don't have the logo on it. They do have the logo on it. It's like, oh, my goodness. I am in big trouble now trying to figure out, can I trust a locksmith? Do I have to
Never
go to
fear.
the
Rick is here. Go ahead, Rick.
Okay, thank you, Rick. This is like a great, I've never had this happen, ever, and I wonder how many people have.
It's actually kind of rare, because usually those fobs, the locking mechanism that holds that little mechanical key in, they're pretty solid. I mean, I've seen a lot of them where that you try to work it out and that key just gets stuck in there. It'll never come out again. But the safest way and most reliable way to get that fob replaced is, of course, at the dealer for the make of your car. However, since you have a working fob, another one that also functions properly, checking with your local locksmiths online and finding one that gives an offer for replacement fobs that they can program. Basically, they program it to clone the working fob that you have. And bear in mind, I would make sure you check the reviews on them, make sure that place has a good review for them, and make sure they're offering a reasonable warranty on the fob of a minimum of 1 year, and that would probably be a less expensive way to go to get that replaced.
Yeah, I was wondering if that, like a year warranty, is that going to be good enough? I mean, all the questions, and God, they're so expensive too.
Yeah,
I was
and-
like, whoa.
1 year is pretty standard for most things like that. Even dealerships,
Really?
when you buy a replacement key fob, it's only a 1 year warranty.
Well, would the warranty apply when apparently this was broken in some way?
Unfortunately, not if you lost it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Now there are things when you buy a new car, a lot of them now have it's silly, but it's an extended warranty, and it's kind of like they have for your phones, for your cell phone. If you breaks or you lose the key fob,
It's like Apple Care for your
right?
key fob.
Exactly. It's it can be a little it's like
It's a
$100 some odd
warranty,
dollars
and
depending
it's
on the car.
insurance, though, by the way.
But if you lose your key fob, they'll replace them up to a certain number of times.
In my opinion, it's not
Yeah,
worth it because
that's insurance.
Yeah.
For a couple $100, or how much is it? What's the max you're gonna look
It's like
at?
$350,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah. I guess
Yeah.
on a Mercedes or something like that, they go, who
Oh,
knows?
some of those fobs can be ridiculous prices, and then the labor to get it programmed to your car is another additional big hit. But yeah, I would look into local locksmiths. Look online for replacement key fobs, and just find one that not only does it have at least a 1 year warranty, but make sure that they've got lots of good customer reviews. That they're not a rip-off company.
Jim, thanks so
you're gonna
much
have
for your call.
problems you'd have problems when you sell the car if the key fob isn't an exact duplicate of the key fob that you had.
It could be. If you don't have the key fobs that were supposed to come with the vehicle, you'll definitely get a lower appraisal value at most dealerships. And most dealerships look for any reason they can to devalue the car. That's just a process that goes on. And so I would imagine if you had a non-OEM key fob, they would devalue, so they'd ding you for that.
Yeah. Private party sale, however,
No,
it wouldn't even
Probably
be a
not.
factor.
probably not. Yeah.
Yeah.
They probably wouldn't even notice if the emblem was on the back of the key fob.
Well, you should disclose that.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you for all that information.
You're welcome, Jim.
Certainly.
Have a wonderful weekend, and thank you,
You have
for
a
tuning
wonderful
in.
weekend, too. Thank
Our-
you so much.
Our number here
Hi.
is 877-960-9960, and you can text us at 772-497-6530. And don't forget your anonymous feedback.com. And, I can't advise this any stronger than now. And it's they talk about watching your spending, doing your homework if you do want to purchase a vehicle. We mentioned Amazon that you can auto program that you can take advantage of. So there's a lot of positive out there. We just have to do the, power and knowledge and power. It all comes together. So right now we have a lull on the phones. So we're going to go to the texts, and then we're going to shoot over to Rick. Good morning, Stu. How are
Good
you?
morning. I'm doing great. You're seeing I came
look
in from
great.
Well, I came from New York last night. Had a day trip up there, and this is what it looks like when I'm reading a book on my patio. So I didn't have the laundry done. I came back, so casual Stu.
Look good.
Thanks very much.
Oh, well, it's very fitting.
Yeah, folks, you can't tell it, but because of the angle, he's not wearing pants today.
Yeah, this is what I wear out when I'm reading a book on my patio. When it's nice and cool out.
We're going to go to the texts, and most likely Anne Marie, would you say? Was that a...
Rick's jumping over that right now, but Anne-Marie always deserves the honor of the.
Yes.
of
Thank
the
you,
first
Anne
text.
Marie, for weekend.
You
We
got it
got
up? You got it? I don't have it up. Oh, thank you, Rick. Well, this is from Anne-Marie, like we just said. Good morning. American car dealers have a reputation that's not good. You often call South Florida the Sodom and Gomorrah of car dealers behaving badly. Agent Lightning's experiences usually supports that observation. But sometimes she encounters the all-too-rare dealership that's honest and provides great customer service. Usually mom-and-pop dealerships in small towns. It's true. I was wondering, do you know or have you ever heard of how car dealers behave in other countries behave? And two, if so, are they more customer friendly and customer oriented, or bottom line, no holds barred, or bottom line oriented? Well, I know that you had some conversations with a dealer in Australia a long time ago that stumbled upon us, maybe through the radio show or the book.
Yeah, they actually listened. Yeah.
Yeah, and you had some conversations a long time ago with him. I don't remember what it was like, but I do remember he was very interested in the way that we did business. And I don't remember if it was because it was like the way that he did it in Australia or very different.
There were some similarities, and you've been in Japan several times, and I think you see how the Japanese totally different sort of environment. You can elaborate on this too, but my general answer is that there's no other country that abuses customers and takes advantage of them like the United States, even Canada, and I've got some good experience with Canadian dealers, well, not just because we're right next to Canada, although they might even be a state soon. That's tongue in cheek. I don't think that's going to happen, but we have a lot of Canadian
customers,
students that come down to attend Northwood University. Northwood University is the college for car dealers. Although, in my opinion, most car dealers didn't go to college, but they do have car dealers' sons go to college. And I was an advisor at Northwood University, and I used to interview young men that were, and occasionally a woman, that wanted to be a car dealer. And a lot of them were Canadian because Canada doesn't have a car dealership university. So from what I learned from the way their fathers and their family operated, Canada is a better place to be treated. But there's definitely not a...
I think in general, it's way more varied, I guess, in the United States. But in general, it's more aggressive and more pressure than anywhere else in the world, I think.
And more sophisticated pressure there, where car dealerships are sneakier. We're really good at being sneaky.
Right, and appearing to be customer friendly. I just remember in Japan, it was, and this is just part of the Japanese culture, it was all based on respect. So
culture.
You can't do that. It would be a sign of disrespect to lie to somebody. And not to say it doesn't happen, but that would be the anomaly.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So.
In Europe, it was strange. I know in England, outside of London, you drive by a bunch of dealerships as you're going into town. Didn't visit any. They looked like American car dealerships, with big glass, fronts and. But I didn't go inside. But the Brits are quite polite.
Yeah. China's probably pretty honest because if you cheat, you get shot or something.
Where?
Like that. China.
In China? Oh yeah, probably. That's you got to toe the line there.
What does their storefronts look like? Is it more or less like a cookie cutter?
Where?
For all of the dealerships in Japan?
In Japan, I only went to one dealership, but I also know that I think like door-to-door or like home sales are also popular there. I don't know if it's the mode. And
they don't have big showrooms, do they?
No, it reminded me of? It reminded me of like maybe your old Pontiac dealership.
Yeah.
Really?
It was small, where it sat on like one block or a small block.
Yeah. And it was two-story?
Yeah, but upstairs it was just like the Pontiac dealership, all the offices, and there was a conference room upstairs, and they had us in the conference room and told us how they sold cars, and it was very nice and just respectful. And then they had, but it was funny, on the showroom, they had like lease prices. I can't remember if they're painted on or stick-ons, but big, bright yellow colors, just like in America. But that was just the lease price. It wasn't a come-on.
So from out on the street, was it just a plate glass front?
Yeah.
Where you could see right in, and you could see the new cars?
Yeah. Yeah. It was like picture like a smaller lot in West Palm Beach or any one of your smaller hometown like
Well,
used car
that's
places.
the way old
Yeah.
car dealerships in the United States were.
They had flags strung and lights, just like the old dealerships,
No.
like the little triangle flags going along
And
between
you were
poles.
just there.
Oh, no,
about
that was
8 months ago or
no,
a year.
No. This is quite a while. I haven't been there.
Oh, don't tell me that.
It was 9 years ago.
Oh gosh,
2016.
Earl, my mind is going.
It's okay.
Hey, we have to go back to the
It's still
phone.
here.
Pardon me.
It's still here.
Thank you for that reassurance. I mentioned the ladies again. Ladies, first two ladies, give us a call. You can win yourself $50. $50 for the first two lady callers. 877-960-9960. That's 877-960-9960. I have a question for everyone. I haven't heard anything too much about the tariffs, but tell me, are you considering purchasing a vehicle, and do you want to learn how to avoid, if you possibly can, all of these hikes that are going to, take place very soon in 30 days, we mentioned earlier? Give us a call. We'd like to talk to you. 877-960-9960. We're going to go to Howard, who's holding, and he's a regular caller from Jupiter. Good morning, Howard.
Good morning. I hope you all are well. It's a beautiful day today. And I have a question concerning the maintenance sign that goes on. It tells you need maintenance, and it blocks certain features on
On the screen.
on the screen, right. So my question is, I can't get into the dealership because I'm not around now. I'm in Miami, and I won't be able to get back until maybe 200 miles past my due date. So is that going to be a problem?
I am, Howard, I cannot wait to hear the answer to this right now because I'm past my maintenance, right? And and every time I get on it, it says maintenance required, and the little back button, you can clear it, but then it pops up again. Rick, can you stop that without getting the car maintained?
Well, what's going to happen is within the next 100 miles, your car is going to completely shut down on the highway.
He's lying.
In the rain, and activate the ejector seat, which will fling you out of the car violently. No, I'm just totally kidding
He
here.
was lying.
There are two ways that maintenance reminder is going to come up. One of them is just a simple, the old-fashioned idiot light that shows up on
The answer is no, you can't.
I'm waiting. Is that the answer?
Well, I'm sorry. Wait.
Rick's like a politician.
Well, you've got the simple idiot light that comes up,
Right. Time.
where it just lights up.
Right.
And that one normally is turned off by using the trip meter button, the trip odometer button. And different models have different ways that you have to manipulate it.
Right.
But yeah, you can.
But
It's in the owner's
I think
manual.
Howard has the multi-information display on the left side of his screen.
Right.
It's
Now
like
that's
a pop-up
the second
window.
one, and it's
Yeah.
still going to pop up that same way, and you can still turn that off. As a matter of fact, you can simply hit your back button, and it will revert back to the normal
And
message.
it doesn't pop up again?
No, it pops
Right.
back up again.
It'll pop back
as soon
up
as you
next
start
time
the
you
car.
start the
Well,
car.
that's my point.
Yeah.
But the way to turn it off for 5,000 miles or reset the clock, basically, is in most of our cars, you would set your trip meter to trip A, turn the ignition off, and if you have a push start or key start, it's going to be the same way. You'll press and hold the trip button and either turn the key just to the accessory position or keep your foot off the brake
Right, and then
push that button once, then twice, while holding that trip button in, and you'll normally see like a little animation as it does its reset. And basically what you're doing is you're simply resetting that timer clock to give you another 5,000 miles until that light comes on again.
But only on the trip.
And if anybody can call back in and repeat what Rick just said,
We'll give you $50.
We're going to send you $50.
Yeah. Hey, real quick though, so that's it. So I mean, if you flip back over off the trip meter to the regular odometer, will it pop back on?
And if you repeat what Stu said, we're going to give you another $50.
I'm just asking a question.
Okay, so here's the true simple
guys.
answer.
We beat that to death.
I think that he hit the buzzer on that one.
Sit in your car, go on YouTube, bring up your car. It'll show you a video.
Perfect. That's
and
a good
you'll
idea.
follow it to reset that
Right,
meter.
and it might even be a video of
Jonathan,
Rick.
the injector,
Hey, let's do a video of that.
Okay, can I go to a Toyota place in Miami? Would they do that for me?
They'll do a lot of things to you.
Yeah, I know. No, seriously.
But we're talking legal.
Yeah, you can go. You can do that, Howard, but you're risking again. These Miami dealers,
Yeah.
you don't know what you're going to hear. You might hear that a good thing you just came in because your car is going to roll over and play dead in the next 6 days.
Like Rick said.
And like Rick said, and it's going to cost you $4,111.19 to prevent that from happening. It's dangerous to drive your car home. I exaggerate, obviously, to make a point, but
I know.
I'd leave the light on because you can't figure out how to turn it off. And I would go back to the dealer that you trusted and have them check it out for you. The odds are 9 out of 10, or probably 95 out of 100, that there's nothing serious wrong.
Yeah.
And unless you're
Right. You just got to, I think, just suffer with it like I do until it's time to get the maintenance. I do it now as soon as I sit in the car. Now, this is crazy. Y'all think I'm crazy because I go to a service department every single day, a Toyota service department. But it just doesn't always work with my schedule. So sometimes I forget. But it's on there. Everything. You just hit the back button, Howard, and it's good until you stop, and then
What do you mean the back button? What's the back?
So on the left side where you see that says maintenance required.
Yeah.
And there's a little symbol that it looks like a little U-turn, an arrow. It looks like a U-turn.
Yeah.
Okay, so on the steering wheel there is a matching arrow. If you hit that.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah, it clears it away. Yeah. And it'll stay off until you start the car again, but that's a temporary.
so after you leave Walgreens, it comes back.
Exactly. As soon as you get back in the car.
Howard, I hope we were able to
Entertain
help you this morning.
Yeah, I think you did, and I think I'll look at the manual because the manual has the instructions.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I'm a little lazy, but I saw it once and I looked at it and it was a little confusing. But I think you straightened me out.
Did you say you saw it once?
I saw it once in the manual.
Right. And you never wanted to open it up again.
Yeah,
You're not any different than anyone else, Howard.
Howard,
But we have some calls. Yes, sir.
you hit on one of the really terrible things that manufacturers do. They worry people. You're a smart guy, and you're right to be worried. And if you're on the Pennsylvania Turnpike at 2 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, you have a right to be terrified. The red light comes on. You don't know what it is. They give you a code, and do you pull over and check into a motel, and you're on your way to pick up your lottery ticket? The point is, they could very easily say, urgent, see your dealer immediately, or not urgent, see your dealer within 30 days. But they don't do that because they just don't care about their customers the way they should. And that's my opinion.
Okay, I'm taking up too much of your time. Have a good rest of the day, and I'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Howard.
Thanks, Howard. Okay, we're going to go to Steve. Thanks for holding, Steve. Welcome. Welcome back.
Hi, how are you?
Or well, thank you.
Okay, I've got two things I want to ask. I called last week about the cleaning of the lenses, and I was wondering whether any of you tried my method of spraying the lenses with mosquito repellent to clean them, or if any of your listeners have tried that.
Rick is shaking his head. He didn't try it, and I wasn't here, so I have an excuse.
I don't even clean the lenses on my glasses.
Oh my God, the lenses on my car are still crystal clear.
So you're using Rain-X?
No, I'm using Repel insect spray.
Insect repellent.
It's amazing.
Okay.
And all the brown gunk comes right off, and they stay clean.
Okay. For the headlights.
The headlights.
Okay.
Headlights.
I was just trying to get caught up because I didn't know if you were talking about camera lenses, because a lot of cars have camera lenses all over them,
No.
and they get gunked up.
Amazing.
So insect repellent gets all the stuff off. I bet it's because there's a solvent in there, and you could probably find that same solvent in something else that doesn't come with insecticide, or I know it's not but what does it have in it? DEET?
I guess so.
Yeah, it's probably like the alcohol or some other solvent that they use to put the insect repellent, so you can spray it onto something. So it works. It sounds like it works. Pretty cool.
What was the
It
other
works.
Yeah.
I was wondering,
product last week we were talking about?
I don't. Well, we're going to keep our ears open. I'm sure anybody who tried it will call in or text in if they're listening now. And I'm not going to try it because I'm kind of weirded out by like insect repellents and things like that.
Oh, it'll keep the insects off the lights.
But yeah, that sounds cheaper than taking it into a service department and having the big old buff job on it.
I tried it.
Yeah, I'm gonna when we get off the call, I'm gonna look up on ChatGPT and see what it says about that.
It does work. Now the next question is, why do I keep having my gas cap light on?
A gas cap light on, saying that the door is open or the gas cap.
I changed the gas cap.
Well, I'll tell you,
And
Steve, how many times I went through that. And at that time, I'd get out of the car and just go over to the gas tank and take the, lid and the cover and make sure it was tight. And I'm sure that Rick has given it a lot of, advice. Right?
I would be
I just can't
concerned.
get rid of it.
Well, Earl got ahead of me on the ChatGPT, so we're surprised at the result, and this seems very credible here. It says it doesn't recommend using that. So even that solvent that's probably getting off the yellow and the stuff, that might clear it off, but the DEET is not recommended because it will damage the plastic over time. It says it can actually break down the polycarbonate surface of headlight lenses, and it means it can degrade faster, and also it removes any UV protective coating that the manufacturers applied to it. So they are recommending another method, and they're recommending, ChatGPT is recommending a product that is for this, like Meguiar's headlight protectant and Cerakote ceramic headlight coating, or a clear plastic, a PPF film, which I don't recommend because I think they will eventually get screwed up and they don't look good. But I think this one time you're going to be fine. I just think what they're going to say is repeated use. Over long, you might have more problems.
As long as it's lasted a month so far.
As long as you get it before you sell it, right?
That's it.
Just kidding.
Now, again, with gas cap, why is the gas cap keep going on? It's reading gas light on the desk.
Well, what car are you driving?
It's a 2008 Town and Country.
So it actually has a light that says your gas cap is loose?
Yeah, it doesn't say loose. It just says, let's see, it just says gas cap.
Gas cap. So I would think that's what it means.
Um,
It's like we have an O2 sensor light that comes on because if you have the or check engine or something.
It'd be great if it did. That's my hat's off to what type of car?
2008 Town and Country.
Town and Country. So that's what is that?
it's a Chrysler.
Chrysler.
Yeah.
Well, hats off to Chrysler.
Sorry.
Give them credit where credit is due.
I'm sorry, it's a Chrysler.
Have you replaced the cap? Gotten a new one?
A few times, and it still goes on.
Okay, I would be looking at the surface where the cap goes on, the actual filler neck, and see if that's damaged or maybe got some corrosion or something that's not allowing the rubber gasket to seal properly with the fuel cap.
I'm going to say Rick is absolutely correct on that because I looked it up.
Oh, that sounds right.
It's part of their evap leak detection system, just like ours. Ours would set off a check engine light, right, Rick? Like if you had somebody had a loose gas cap.
Once you secure the fuel cap and it's sealing properly,
it'll go off.
Then the computer will watch for it, and if it doesn't see that problem occurring again, it'll turn the light off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Steve. You have any other questions?
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
As far as being the first Brooklyn caller from New York this morning, how about $50 for that first Brooklyn, New York caller?
I don't know, but is it still pretty cold? Like, it's not cold to you. 40?
I'm in Florida.
Oh, okay. It was pretty chilly yesterday.
Yeah, I heard. We're enjoying San Diego weather. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
I'm not going to hold you up any longer. Thanks a lot
Steve.
for your time.
All right, Steve.
Bye-bye.
Talk
to you soon.
We are going to go to the Roadrunner That's Roadrunner Steve.
Another Steve. I almost beeped at the first guy, at the first Steve.
Morning, Roadrunner.
Good morning, everybody. And he's not the first caller from Brooklyn. I am. I was born in Coney Island Hospital.
There you go.
1954.
Right on, Steve.
Coney Island is a hospital.
Right,
Yeah, and they also have great hot dogs.
yeah. Let's go right to Dr.
Steve's a hot dog.
Rick.
Let's go to what?
Maybe.
Let's go right to Dr. Rick. Okay, I changed the electronic ignition module, right? So me and my friend, we just laid it on the inside fender well, right? Car wouldn't start. So me and my friend go, maybe you got to connect it to the bracket, right? We connect it to the bracket, the car starts.
Someone's
right
calling you.
Yeah. And
Get in here, Steve.
Are you
Now,
on the
here's-
phone with that car dealer again?
here's another
No, no,
recommendation.
Get out of the bathroom,
Car
Steve.
dealer. What?
I'm just kidding. I said, get out of the bathroom, Steve.
No, I'm outside by my storage unit. So the car started right up, and then I went over a bumpy road to make sure it was not a non-negative problem. So the car is running great now, and it only cost me $67.
Okay. Spend
That's
spend
fine.
another $10 or $15 at the most. Take a wire with a couple of simple eye loops on it, and
Yeah.
connect it to the bolt where it's mounted to the fender, and run
Right.
that to either another good ground source or run it to the negative side of your battery if it reaches close enough there, and give yourself a redundant ground source for that unit, and you'll thank me
Right.
later.
Okay, because I touched it, I didn't get no shock, so I was happy.
Yeah, you won't on the negative side.
Congratulations.
You'll never
Yeah,
feel a
that's
shock
always
on
a
the
good
negative
thing.
side.
And if you ask your wife to
here
do
we
it,
go.
you won't feel a
I
shock
was
either.
up at Nissan yesterday with my friend. So that Nissan on Lake Worth Road, they sold out to Kraus Auto Group.
Kraus?
Yeah, that's what
Kraus?
the
Oh,
guy
I've
said.
never heard of them. Nashville?
I have no idea.
Oh.
But they're still keeping the store on 441, the main one.
Well, we might have to
Yeah.
sneak down there someday.
Yes. Also, I was looking at the Maroni label. 2 cars had it on the window. The other 2 couldn't even find them.
They're just gone.
So I'm looking at the Maroni label. You know, they got that $3,000 thing where they charge you for the
addendum.
the platinum service and all that stuff. So I'm
Yeah.
reading it down there. Yeah, of course, they brought up headlights. Oh, you can get 3 headlight cleanings. And here was the other one.
And they
VIN
use
etching
they
numbers,
use Deep Woods off.
right? Yeah, right. But they want to charge you for the window VIN etching number.
Oh, that's old school.
Yeah, in New York, I had it done at the police station for nothing.
That's true. Yeah,
didn't know.
I remember that. That was a long time
Yeah.
ago. But you didn't
I
get the
didn't know they
insurance with
still
it.
do that.
You didn't get $500 if they $5,000 if they never found your car.
Well, I got to go for the 45,000 if they never
you go.
found my car.
Right.
But they don't do that down here no more.
They do. People still sell etch, and it's kind of strange. I think we saw it on the mystery shopper report today. There was etch put on the car, pre-etched.
You know, and it's actually not such a bad deal. It's just way overpriced. Think about it. If you're a professional car thief and you see 2 cars parked side by side, one has got the VIN number etched in the windows and the other doesn't, which one are you going to steal? The one without the edge. So it is somewhat of a deterrent.
And then there was a fancy one that came along, and sometime about 20 years ago, and there are micro dots. And what it was they had a tiny pieces of plastic with an identification on it that you would just sprinkle out throughout your car, and it would just remain part of the car.
I don't remember that.
And is invisible to find. And even if you vacuumed the car and cleaned it, there would still be enough left, and you'd be able to prove it was your car.
If you can find it.
And I said, you know what? You can look at the VIN number too. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
They
Well,
take
the
the
other
plates
thing
off.
I
and all that.
did when I was putting my inner door panels on when I got the car, I took a baggie, plastic bag, and I wrote my name and address on a piece of paper and put it in the baggie with the VIN number, and I put it in the door panel on both
There you
sides
go.
of the door.
They'll never look there. That's the same idea. Yeah.
With
Pretty
that.
smart.
But Dr. Rick comes through in the clutch. Woo-hoo.
He aims to
Okay, what's
please.
that thing with the bug spray? What bug spray you use?
Okay, don't use it. We
I
have
figured don't use it.
the Steve, another Steve, also from
Yeah, I
Brooklyn.
know. I started talking when you said that.
Yeah, okay. No, he used some insect repellent, like Deep Woods Off or something, and could be another brand to clean the headlights. Then we looked it up, and it said the DEET that's in there will degrade the plastic. It's not a good idea, so don't.
Yeah, you don't want to
do
use that.
Use toothpaste.
Okay, good.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, I took a picture of that car, but I'm gonna write it down
Yeah, send it to me.
because I use a cell phone, and I'll tell you what the $3,000 extra gets you for the platinum series.
Can't wait. Send it to me.
Neither can I. I'm so excited. Ooh! All right, everybody, have a good and safe weekend. Stay healthy. Stay happy.
Enjoy
Steve.
that pink moon.
Be good, Steve.
Thanks, Steve. Hey, I have a question. Since we went on the air at 8 a.m. this morning, how many times have we used ChatGPT?
A bunch.
Think about it. Now,
Earl's been using it like every 30 seconds.
He's fast.
He's my
Okay,
twin brother.
here's
Now,
a-
he's
We can
my
do the
smart-
math on that.
Here's some
smart twin brother.
interesting facts. As early as 2025, ChatGPT has experienced remarkable growth, solidifying its position as one of the most widely used A1 platforms globally.
Yeah.
It's amazing. And then they go on with some interesting numbers. Weekly active users, over 400 million worldwide as of February 2025, 300 million in 2024.
But it's a small percentage. It sounds like a lot of people. I think it's like 6% or something like
But
that.
they went into the paid subscribers of 15.5 million,
Yeah.
and the numbers just get higher and higher. It's interesting, a sign of the changing times. We are going to go to Bob, who's been holding from Lake Park. Good morning, Bob.
Yo, Bob.
How you doing?
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back, Stu.
Thank you.
Next week, Roadrunner was asking a question about crank windows. There is one vehicle that's still being sold that has a crank window. Do you know what it is?
A Nissan Versa? A Fiat?
Rip? No.
I would guess maybe a Fiat.
Are you go?
A Jeep Wrangler.
Figures.
And this is the last year for the production. So after this year, there will be no more crank windows unless you go to Barrett Jackson.
Right.
There'll be plenty
Classic,
of vehicles
yeah.
there with crank.
Interesting.
Very interesting. But the
That's
woman
a
with
good
the
one. I wouldn't have
car-
guessed that. I was thinking a tiny, like the cheap loss leader micro compact car that has nothing.
I would guess it's probably on the Jeeps that have that easy remove door,
There you go.
because then you've got less wiring to try to connect, because those doors are meant to be
Removed.
where the average person can simply release a strap
And take it off.
and lift the door right off to set, to get rid of
Okay.
the doors.
So if they're gonna get rid of the cranks and they're gonna go to power, how's they're gonna do that with removable doors?
Same thing for removable tailgates. When you have a backup camera on that in the tailgate, is simply you disconnect the electric connector, and then they've got little
so there's
covers.
there's a little work you got to do.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Now the woman with the key fob, my key fob broke also. The little silver clip on the end of it, from the weight of the keys. I didn't lose my key fob. I re-glued. I used Gorilla Glue, glued it back together. But what you can do to prevent losing your key fob is something called an air tag.
Yeah.
I have air tags on everything.
So does Earl.
So
Earl has it on his keys, his notebook, his wallet.
Right.
What else?
yeah, and then you.
Anything I lose a lot.
There's there's one stuck to Nancy's back.
The other solution for that is, instead of using the key ring that's actually attached on the fob, you can buy little cases, like
Yeah.
a leather case that has the key ring attached to the case.
Yeah.
You can then have easy access to the buttons, and I'd bet some of those cases.
Show him this, Rick.
Yeah. Like this one has the air tag attached right on, but they also make leather cases the entire key fob goes inside the case to protect it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've also got a spot where your air tag can be attached into that case, so it's all one unit. Nice and simple.
Pretty snazzy.
Yeah, Earl, this is almost foreign information because of what we drive. Isn't it amazing the advantages
Right.
of driving
I mean,
what we
without a
drive?
key, right? I can't wait for
Problem
that.
is, that's made in China, and you won't be able to get it.
You're probably right.
So, I have a question for Rick. My fuel vapor hose is setting off my check engine light. I replaced one. It lasted. I bought it off Amazon. It was cheap. It lasted 9 months. They gave me my money back. So I bought one that was a little bit more expensive from the Parts Geek. That lasted 23 months. And now the check engine light is on again. The car runs fine. Should I change that thing again? It's an easy,
Could be
it's
something
20
else.
minutes. It's right on top of the car. It's easy to change out. But it's the fuel vapor hose that has the solenoid.
Yeah, Rick, answer that call for me. Remember, we have 5 callers waiting.
Emissions issues are not a big problem in Florida because we don't have the emissions testing. But if you were going to sell the car, that would hurt you. So I would replace it then. But remember, anytime you're replacing those lines like that, put a little bit of lubricant on the O-rings. They'll seal better, and it'll make them last longer.
Thanks, Rick. Okay.
Thank you, Bob.
Okay. All right. Have a great day.
Thank you. We are going to go to Stephen. Good morning, Stephen.
3 Steves.
Really?
Good morning.
Yo, Steve.
Steve is 1
Ah,
years old.
Is Stephen calling us from Ocala?
like the Liberty Mutual commercial.
Good morning. It's not Steve. It's Sydney.
Hey, Sydney.
Yeah, Sydney. It's
How are you
not
doing
Steve.
this morning?
I'm living life.
All right. So are we.
I have a question. A simple question to Wick. Wick, I have 2 cars. I want the engine bay is dirty, but I'm worried about washing it. Some people say I might damage it. I might get oil, water to the connector, and it might not start. What should I do? How do I wash it? I don't want to pay to wash it. I have a Toyota Highlander and a Subaru.
Yeah, my advice in that case is if you're going to go to like the coin-operated car wash, get a can of degreaser spray the whole area, let it soak in for a little bit, and if you're going to use the gun, the pressure washer gun, have it on its very lowest power setting and stay way back. Just let the water just kind of rinse in gently. That way it's not forcing water into the electrical connectors or anything. But otherwise, I generally do not recommend washing the engine bay.
Yeah.
Unless it's something that you're doing it because of a real major problem, I wouldn't do it. The places that do professional car washing, they have equipment that can do it safely without forcing the water in anywhere and causing issues. And I just think you'd be taking a big chance on getting yourself into trouble by getting water in places it shouldn't be. So my recommendation, I would leave it alone. Maybe take a rag and go and just wipe surfaces that you can get to easily, but I wouldn't clean the whole bay. I wouldn't try washing it.
How about the garden hose? If you use the garden hose at home.
That'd be good.
Yeah, and a very gentle spray again. But bear in mind, anything that you're washing down is going to be going into your driveway, and it's going to get all over
So park it on
everywhere.
Park it on your neighbor's grass.
Yeah, that would probably be. I'm not going to say that, but
No.
yeah, garden hose on a very gentle spray. Don't use anything that's got any real pressure to it.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
You're welcome.
Thanks for the call.
877. Well, we've after we take these last couple of calls, we are going to shut the phone lines down. We're going to go to Frank, who's been holding, and Marty, I'll be with you in a minute. Maybe.
Hey, Frank.
Good morning, Frank.
Hey, good
No
morning,
pun
guys.
intended.
It's always a pleasure starting my Saturday off hearing you guys on the radio.
Oh,
Thank
But,
you.
we'd like to bring that to you every Saturday.
Oh, how nice.
It was a really nice day, too, because I have every door and window open, letting the house get free air conditioning for a few hours
Oh, yeah.
and getting rid of the stale air. But about 10 days ago, maybe 11 days ago, I was at Costco doing some shopping, and I said, let me just pick up some toilet paper and other things I had. And I actually had 2 things of toilet paper. I said, we don't need all this stuff. I mean, So anyway, I didn't think about it. This goes to the terrorists. Well, I know. This is where it's coming in. Because I think with the people afraid to buy a car now or rushing to buy a car, just let things calm down. Well. So much for my thoughts. The other day I went there with my wife when she had a day off, and there's not a roll of toilet paper left in Costco. It looks like an empty. Oh my goodness, you can't find it.
We're gonna have
even
flashbacks.
go in the bathroom. You go in the bathrooms, the rolls are empty. They take off the rolls in the bathroom. I mean,
Lord.
insane. Well, I'm exaggerating about that, but in any event.
All right, I have a recommendation for you, and also for all of our listeners, and those of you in the studio with me this morning. During the pandemic, when you couldn't get toilet paper, we found a company online called Who Gives a Crap, and they make toilet paper, and it's a subscription, and it's made from bamboo. There's no difference from. It's not like you're taking a stick of bamboo. It's soft.
It's very interesting.
And we get a box, and it's timed like an Amazon subscription. And we've had this for forever, and we have a perfectly timed schedule, and it's great. So I've never had a problem getting it from them. So maybe I'll take a look at that.
Well, Frank, thanks for calling Earl on toilet paper.
Yes. Earl on Costco.
We love hearing from you, Frank. Do you have any
You'll
other?
have a good one.
Thank you.
No, I'll be short. I know you got 5 in line, so I'll be generous today and let them go.
All right, thanks.
Have a great weekend. We're going to go to Marty, who has faithfully been waiting. Good morning, Marty.
Good morning. I got a couple things, not on toilet paper.
How about Consumer Report? How about the 2025 Auto Edition? Do you have good news for me?
Still waiting.
Okay.
So eventually, I'm sure it'll show up.
Yes, absolutely. And that's I asked you that because of all the others that are listening right now that have not received their subscription.
Yeah. First thing I wanted to say is I would not buy a Hyundai first from Amazon. I would go to a Hyundai dealer first and see if you're getting the right price. Because when I looked at the website, like Rick said, I mean, some of these dealerships got $1,800 dealer fees and everything else. So maybe the 3 days left to get to $2,300 maybe won't be worth it. Maybe you're going to end up paying more through Amazon than you would at the Hyundai dealer.
Well, I don't totally disagree with you, Marty, but I would reverse your order of what you just recommended. I'd go to the Amazon first, and I would take my out-the-door price from Amazon to several Hyundai dealers and say, if you want to sell me the car, can you beat this price? And by the way, $2,300 worth of gift certificate from Amazon. So, the cool thing about Amazon is that not they're going to sell the car cheaper than everybody else, but they're going to give you a real out-the-door price, which is all a consumer can ask for. If you got a real out-the-door price, then you can shop and compare it. And the shopping and comparison is what allows you to get an even better price.
Yeah. Well, I was just going by what their website showed, their price.
Well, their website.
At that and make sure you're going to get something less. Because like Bremen in Miami has an $1,800 dealer fee thrown in there.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, you'd have to take the out-the-door price from Amazon, which is posted right there, and on then you deduct your $2,300 in gift certificate, and then you call 6-7 Hyundai dealers as far as you want to travel, and say, if you can give me out-the-door price below this, I'll come see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Now my other suggestion is on my wife's CRV, the gas tank has no gas cap. So how do they do that it doesn't need gas caps and all these other cars do? You think they would save money by everybody having no gas caps?
Yeah, Ford tried that too, where it's a little flap that when you put the fuel nozzle in, it pushes that flap open. and lets you refuel the car, and then the flap closes and is supposed to seal up. Unfortunately, Ford found out after a very short time, those start to leak. And when it starts leaking, it's way more expensive to replace that flap assembly than it is to buy, well,
a gasket.
To give you a comparison, the Toyota fuel cap from the dealership, which is probably the most expensive way you could go to get a fuel cap for a Toyota, is like $35 to $40. And I'm sure right now they're going to be going up. They'll probably be $55 to $60 soon. But you could buy a replacement fuel cap that will work on your Toyota and seal it perfectly for like $20 at the local parts store. Those flip open little tab caps, I've seen those sold aftermarket where you can install the cap on your on your car, and it has the little flap that opens. And almost every single time I've seen one, it's because they're in for a check engine light because it's leaking.
And then you go, you throw that piece of crap out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm just saying that's how the car came. So you didn't have any choice. It's
right, but it's.
I was talking about the car.
Yeah, and
the car, yeah.
There's a reason why they only ran them for a short time, and then they said, nope, get rid of it.
Yeah. All right. Just wondered if it's a new thing to save money on gas caps.
Well, they tried it, and it unfortunately, in the real world, it didn't work.
It's a good thought.
Yeah.
It'll be obsolete in a few years because there won't be any more gas caps.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. Have a good weekend. Glad everybody's feeling better.
Thank you.
Thanks, you, Marty.
Okay. Have a good weekend.
Have a great weekend. Hope to hear from you soon. Text me about your subscription. Isn't it amazing? Every single day, it's just so obvious that what we're driving is so necessary. And there are so many people that disagree. But one day, that gap will be, full. I mean, there won't be a gap.
Huh?
And for instance, on my Plaid that I drive, it was really telling. After I had that embolization on my left knee, I realized, if I kept it on autonomous because I want to drive, I'm not one of those. I need my freedom machine. Anyway, the brake on the combustion car and so many other features, that are on the Plaid that are so conducive to
How many people think about
elderly.
that? That's an excellent point, is think about this. Nancy and I drive all electric vehicles, and we virtually never touch the brake. Never touch the brake. The automatic braking of the electric engine generator does all the braking.
Yeah, well, excuse me, but the only time that I hit the brake would be to deactivate the autonomy. And the autonomous can be dangerous. Yeah. You still have to focus. You have to especially focus, the drivers around you. But it's just, you just can't give up focus because you'll be in big trouble. There's been there's been more than a few mistakes that my Plaid has made when I'm in autonomous. And I think Earl has me beat on the Cybertruck because it wants to go down, head south in a north lane for some reason.
Get your adrenaline going.
Right.
Get to who?
Keeps you alive.
Adrenaline, yeah.
It's part of life. It's the joie de vivre.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't speak French.
We do that 24 hours a day, don't we? Adrenaline. Yes.
Oh, I have 5 anonymous comments waiting.
Oh, great. We're done with the phones. I thought you were saying hi to me.
I was.
And we have text messages. We have Rick here with some YouTube, and we have your anonymous feedback.
Yeah. The first one says, I don't buy cars thinking about the next guy and that you save money up front by buying the previous year car. The next owner of my cars turns them into small metal cubes with 300,000 plus miles on them. I like that image.
Yeah.
The next guy is the junkyard owner. So, we are exploring. I'm sorry, that's spam. We're exploring long-term business solutions. If service centers had their way, the only tools you would need is a cell phone and a credit card to maintain today's modern vehicles. Was that a topic last week?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. That'd be all right with me.
Yeah,
Just
no,
here's my phone.
It's true. Yeah, I mean,
It's pretty
that's-
handy. I mean, right now they're using a lot of technology like that in service departments where you can actually communicate with the technician and they can show you the picture. So if they're telling you, there's something broken on the car, you can just you sit there and you communicate on the phone and you see what the actual issue is. That's good. But yeah, things are changing in the service departments and everything with our cars. It's kind of strange. Everything, our lives are running through
Nancy's
cell phones.
Plaid is 3 years old, and it's never been in to a Tesla service or any service. Well, actually, I take it back.
Those are for
It's
repairs.
been in to replace tires
Yeah,
that I
Burnout.
ran over curbs with.
Right.
But there has been no maintenance required on the
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the maintenance are just updates on your computer, just improvements. That was a double one. So the last one, last anonymous feedback. Nissan hating their dealers makes no sense. The dealers all make money for the manufacturer. Am I missing something here?
If John Dillinger worked for the dealers, he would make money for the manufacturer also.
Right. I think Nissan hating like the manufacturer and the relationship with the dealers. Each manufacturer's thing is different. They have a different culture, and I would believe that they think that the aggressive posture they take with their dealers improves business. I don't think they're doing it to hurt themselves. So I think they feel that they got a tight leash on the dealer body, and they kind of they call the shots.
The big secret is, in my opinion, is the manufacturers hate the dealers. And the manufacturers are highly educated. They're very competent, most of them.
Yeah, MBAs and engineers.
Yeah, exactly. And they're a smart group. But the problem is their hands are tied by the dealers, thanks to the dealers' efforts at lobbying over many, many years, state laws that make them Superman. They cannot be hurt by the dealers. They have a contract. All dealers have a franchise agreement with the manufacturer. And the franchise agreement is a lopsided, one-sided contract favoring the dealer, making him immune to controls by the dealers. So the dealers have formed this solid lobbying group that has put them in a position to be able to do anything they want, and including committing crimes, as they do in Florida every day, by advertising cars at a price they will not sell the car for. That's against the law. The General of Florida knows it, and the attorney generals of the other states know it.
Who is the attorney general of
the
Florida?
Manufacturers know it, and there's nothing they can do about it. So.
Yeah, who is the? I don't even know who the attorney general is.
Yeah, I don't either. Nancy, do you remember the name of the current attorney general? It's I can name.
She
Pam
won't
Bondi
return any of my calls,
and-
so I'm not giving her any type of exposure right now.
Well, no, she's not even. She's in the Senate now. We got a new guy.
Well, no, 2 years ago, Pam Bondi is the U.S. Attorney General.
I know, right, I know. And then Ashley Moody is the senator, great state of Florida.
Yeah.
So we got somebody else in there.
Yeah, they get promoted after they leave. They do a
They
terrible
go to
job in
Washington,
Florida.
D.C.
They do a terrible job in Florida. They side with the dealers that are screwing the customers, and then they get promoted. I mean,
or
what can I tell you?
appointed. She got appointed, by the governor to the Senate. So that's great. I'll look it up.
It's another attractive woman, and I probably shouldn't have said that, but I did. Too late now.
All right, you got some comments over there coming in on YouTube?
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it.
Mark H. says, I want to see a cell phone mount and dismount a 35 series tire.
Come on. I was being facetious.
Well, what they will have is they'll have tires.
Yeah, my robot will do it.
That never fail.
That or a robot.
Yeah. Yeah, well, exactly. A little bitty robot that changes your tire with.
A little 2 foot tall technician that just scrambles around with the tires.
Actually, my dream for the future of tires would be a tire that does not use air, a non-pneumatic tire that uses like a rubber matrix inside and is 3D printable to the point at which you drive in, your car goes up on a lift, and the machine simply reprints
tread.
more material onto that tire and recuts the tread, and then boom, you're back on the road like that.
Yeah, I bet you're 100% right.
I
think
mean,
that's what it
and
is.
you never worry about a flat tire ever again.
Yeah.
When the tread gets low, it's half an hour to an hour, and boom, you've got new tread on your tires, and you're safe to drive again.
Let's do this real live. What is the timing on having a tire that is not necessarily to replace? I'm sorry.
That's okay. I don't know what you're saying.
Okay.
That's the best thing about ChatGPT. You
What
can
is
babble
the
into it.
time that you estimate cars will have a tire that never needs to be replaced? I'm talking to ChatGPT.
Oh, I thought you were talking to me. I had no idea. I didn't know how to answer you.
Well, while he's waiting on that, we did have a lot of people on YouTube seconding the idea of
10 to 20 years.
Oh, that's too
20
long.
All right, 20 years. That's still in my lifetime, maybe. Actually, I carried a one. Maybe. All right. But yeah, a lot of people on YouTube were seconding the idea of using a clear, like 3M clear film, like a wrap, on your headlights to help prevent the headlight from aging and discoloring. And my own pickup, I did an experiment. It's still on there. The passenger side is fogged over like you wouldn't believe. The driver's side is still probably 50% clear from a simple piece of 3M clear plastic that I put on there about 6 or 7 years ago. So, I mean, that works.
Yeah.
And even Donovan actually seconded the idea of ceramic coat, which is a ceramic coating, like for the ceramic on coating on paints to replace wax, and putting that on the headlights also extends the life of the headlight and prevents the UV from the sun from damaging that plastic and causing it to fog over like that.
Well, I'll tell you, great information from Donovan and Rick. You know, we're going into a time squeeze right now, so I want to put everybody on notice. We need the mystery shopping report to get to. We have the dog of the week. So real quick, Stu, is there something you want to go to?
There's something I want to say.
Okay.
Really quick, though. Michelin's coming out with a model called the Uptis. It's a non-pneumatic tire, and it's supposed to be coming out in the next year. So better than 20 years.
Donovan even mentioned that. He says Michelin actually has an airless tire, possibly today. He says, but it's for off-road vehicles only right now.
Well, there we go.
So, hey, that's a start.
Maybe they're really bouncy.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, folks, we are going to go to the video from Big Dog Ranch, but let me give you this information first. You can go to Big Dog Ranch Rescue. You can find out all kind of things that you probably don't know. And what a beautiful day it is to go out there. They have so many programs. They have so many things that are affordable to you at this time of year, as far as you know the fees that they charge for some of the dogs, most of the dogs, and if they're out there for a long time, they reduce the fee. So it's a good place to visit. That's Big Dog Ranch Rescue. We have Sapphire, and she is a mixed breed. She's a female, 59 pounds, and she came in from the Bahamas, and she's dog selective. And she's dog selective.
Dog selective.
Dog selective.
So
I like that.
Some dogs she's good with, some dogs she's not.
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
she's got a whole lot of energy, and she's okay, kind of on a leash, and she has had heartworm treatment, and there's just a whole lot of good things
How old is she?
about Sapphire. How old is she?
Mm-hmm.
She is 6. Yeah,
6 years old.
She is 1 year, 10 months, and 6 days.
She's a baby. She's still a baby.
Yeah, she's very cute.
big baby.
Okay, let's take a look at the video.
Hi, this is Sapphire from Big Dog Ranch Rescue. I'm Charlie Davino. She is a lovely little angel that just wants the attention of one human being. She loves to roll on her belly, get pets, all sorts of stuff like that. Absolutely lovely dog for a one-dog home that I think should get adopted very quickly.
There you have it.
Sapphire, she's really pretty.
Yes, she is very pretty. So go to Big Dog Ranch for a lot of reasons. Like I said, you can take a look at what's going on out there, and you can also fill out a form for a background check. They do a background check. They just don't give the dogs out. And, you can pick up Earl's book, Confessions of a Recovering Car Dealer. And the book is $19.95, and all proceeds go to Big Dog Ranch.
Correct.
You have your book? Okay, there it is. Confessions of a Recovering Car Dealer. I would like to go to the mystery shop, and that is from Sunrise Ford. Very interesting to say the least about Sunrise Ford. You can vote at 772-497-6530. That's 772-497-6530. Now back to Earl.
Sunrise Ford, by the way, is in Fort Pierce, Florida. And that's about, 50 miles north of us, or maybe 40?
It takes about an hour or so to drive.
Yeah. It's a little bigger than Stuart, Florida, which is immediately north. We do a lot of shops there, and this is up a little bit further on the east coast of Florida. And it's, of course, our pioneer, or actually not pioneer, but very experienced mystery shopper, Agent Lightning. And I'll read this report that's too comprised, translated into this format, and I will speak in the first person as if I were Agent Lightning. My family and I found a used 2023 Ford F-250 XLT with 23,000 miles for just $47,323 $47,323 online. This is a protocol you should follow, by the way. Check the online price first before you venture into a dealership, or call or email for that matter. So we decided to take a ride to check it out. Our son is home from out of town and looking to buy a truck to use for work. Well, we mentioned that, I think, last week. So here we are in a real format-like situation, going through the process, and you can learn from the experience as you listen to this report. We arrived mid-afternoon, walked around the lot until he found the truck we'd seen online. We waited about 10 minutes, and I went inside to find the salesperson. The front desk lady welcomed me and asked, "Is there anything I can help you with today?" I replied, "Yes, please. I'd like your best salesman for a pickup truck." She said, let me think. Then she got up out of her seat, walked over to a salesman at his desk. "Bill, are you busy?" she asked. A man lifted his head and said, "What's up?" And seeing me with her, smiled and asked, "How can I be of assistance today?" So far, so good. That was just me talking. I showed him my phone and said, "My son is interested in this truck. Would you be able to get the keys so he can drive it?" He stood up, looked at my phone for the details, and went to get the keys. Bill said he believed it was in the corner of the lot and pointed. I told him, my son and husband are over there, and they're looking at the car now. We walked toward them, and Bill tried unlocking the truck with the remote, but it wasn't working. The battery was dead. Now listen carefully. This is interesting. This is the beginning of some issues. Bill apologized, popped the hood, and went to get a battery charger. While he was gone, we looked at the Carfax report and noticed it had been in a minor accident. When we inspected the front lights, we saw one had been replaced and was sitting slightly lower than the other. And the thought that, went through my consumer mind, if I'm looking at the headlamps and one's lower than the other, it does tell me
something's up with that car, man.
It does tell me that there was an accident. It also tells me the repair was not.
I would not. I'd say let's look at another. At that point, I'm like, let's move on.
Right. So when my husband pointed it out, Bill said, "Well, if this were a poker match, I would have lost the first hand and laughed." That was good. Yeah. He got the truck jumped. Got the truck jumped. Had my son drive it to the front, so we could put a plate on it, and a license plate. While driving up, my son noticed the check engine light was on. We've talked about that on the show earlier a lot. Bill asked for his license and went inside to get the plate. Notice we said the check engine light was on. There was no information other than the check engine light was on. All four of us got in the truck, drove a few miles down US 1. Then Bill asked him to make a U-turn and head back to the dealership. Just before we got back, the truck stalled. It wouldn't restart. So 99.9% of the times, the check engine light isn't anything serious. Well, here we go.
Something's going on here.
There's a 1% popped up.
Bill's not winning any of these hands right now.
Even the hazard lights didn't work. So here we are in the middle of US 1, busy area, with hazard lights on. The car won't run, and hazard lights don't work. Bill quickly popped the hood while my husband, son, and I ran across US 1 and walked back to the dealership. This could be a movie.
This is like a horror movie.
Yeah. We didn't feel safe sitting there with traffic flying by. You probably didn't feel safe about running across US 1 either. And
it's one or the other. Yeah.
We waited for Bill a bit, then left to check out another dealership. They didn't have anything worth looking at, and no one even came out to talk to us. So we headed back to Sunrise Ford. The truck was still in the middle of US 1. I just can't believe this. And Agent Lightning, God bless her, I mean, she goes through this stuff, and for this, she obviously doesn't get paid enough. But
I know. Well, either do these guys.
Yeah. So the car's still in the middle of US 1. No police there. That's what I got to understand. Where are the police? It doesn't say a lot for Fort Pierce, does it? Fort Pierce, Florida, with Bill and several other guys trying to figure out what was wrong with it. I wish we had video of this. It would just be, you could get it on national television. I was trying to wait for Bill to ask him for a full write-up and to see if they do complete inspection on the truck. Did I skip something?
Let me see here. The truck sales. Full write-up, see the... Yeah, no.
Yeah, okay, good. Then maybe we could reassess later that evening if they figured it out. But Bill wasn't coming back, and by then, we'd already been there for over 2 hours, and we need to get home. I can't just get that out of my mind.
The amount of time spent.
Yeah, I want to give Agent Lightning a polygraph test. Did she really go on a test drive, and the car stopped? They couldn't pull the car over. They were in the middle of US 1 in Fort Pierce
what a nightmare.
for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was looking on the map. I was seeing what other dealerships right by. So Sunrise Ford is right next to Wallace Lincoln, all the Wallace dealerships, Sunrise, Volkswagen, Lincoln, Wallace Hyundai, Garber, Buick, GMC. It's on Car Row right there.
So the mystery remains. Continuing as Agent Lightning, I waited through the weekend and called on Tuesday. No call from the dealership. No call from, what's the name of the dealership?
No bill.
Sunrise Ford.
Sunrise Ford.
Yeah, no bill, no dealership call, nobody. Okay, I was transferred to Bill's voicemail, left a message. I waited until Thursday morning, called again, voicemail again. An hour later, I called back and Jillian answered. I explained what had happened when we test drove the truck. She was very apologetic, asked for our contact information to see if we were in their system. She found my son's name and asked if she could call me back after doing some research to find out what was going on with the truck and whether it was available. I asked if she was a salesperson. She said she was part of the internet sales team. Well, that's kind of like a salesperson. It is a salesperson. Somehow, my call had been routed to the internet department. You're lucky it was routed anywhere. That's me speaking. This was at 10 a.m. on April 10th, 2025, and the price was still listed the same online, which was a competitive price. Jillian called me back at 3:15 Thursday afternoon to let me know the truck was still in the service department, but they said they'd rush it for us. Yeah. She said she'd try to find out exactly. She said she'd find out exactly what was wrong. In the meantime, she would speak with her sales manager and send me a detailed sheet of the out-the-door cost. I waited until almost 2 p.m. Friday. I mean, and called her. Nobody wants to buy a car that bad.
Yeah, I'm saying in reality.
Yeah, you're gone.
Yeah, most people.
You're gone. And called her because I hadn't heard anything. She answered and apologized, saying they'd been extremely busy. They weren't busy when I was there, and she hadn't gotten to it yet. She assured me she would get with her sales manager right away and have some numbers for me soon. She also said she'd double-check in the service department to see...
She had double-check.
Information.
Check twice.
Yeah.
Check it twice.
But finally called me back at 2:30 and asked for our information again. Didn't get the information the first 11 times. He told me the only issue was a stone-cold dead battery, which had been fixed.
It took him 6 days to replace the battery.
And I somehow can't believe that they... 2 hours in the middle of US 1, they couldn't figure out they had a dead battery. This is where I'm worried about our credibility on this show, because the shopping report is so incredible that I don't believe it myself. So he might want to check in with her first to avoid doubling the work. He said Jillian had handed it back over to him that day, which is why he was calling, but he still needed to confirm our contact info and ask how much we'd want to put down. He said he's going to check with his sales manager, call me back shortly. I waited. Surprise. 3:06 p.m. Bill texted me pictures of the truck and the sales worksheet. The price was listed online as $47,323. That was the same price as before. The top line, labeled market value selling price, was $51,575. They took off $4,252, making the adjusted price $47,323, just like the online price. Unfortunately, they went on to add junk fees, $1,397 in installed packages. Etch, Spiron, question mark. I don't know what that was.
It's probably a protective thing.
Yeah. LoJack, which we've talked about on almost every show, which is a worthless anti-theft protection with today's modern cars. Yeah. They added $2,080 in junk fees, electronic filing fee, $39.99, $399.99. Dock fee, $999.99. Tag agency fee, well, they made that $49.50, a little variety there.
Yeah, they should jack it up.
License fee, $450. License fee.
Yeah, and I just want to say that's
padded.
I think it's padded for sure. Yeah.
And dock stamps, which is definitely a junk fee, because you don't charge dock stamps except when you finance a car. $181.65. The real selling price of the truck, after all that, was $50,800, $3,477 over the advertised price, and it's ended up shameful. And it's probably
that was me.
Stu's, and that's an understatement. Is shameful. It's a shock, and it's hard to shock me. But I'm shocked at this shopping report.
It's because I'm looking at the listing of the truck online, and that's what people see when they get there. So you go there, it says details, retail price $51,575, and then you get a $4,252 discount, and it says total savings $4,252. In what universe does that not mean you're saving that money? In reality, you're saving. Okay, if the retail price that they posted was somehow, that's it, then they really only got $1,500 off, but the advertisement said you're getting $4,500 off.
I'm just wondering about that etch. Now I know windshield etching is etch the glass, but $2,500
was that is that what that was?
That was just when they break down that installed package.
I think it was $250. I think I misspoke.
No, it was in black and white on the yeah.
Oh, look at the form here again.
$2,500 on the picture showed up on YouTube there.
Well, we've seen.
Yeah, you're right. It says NSD. Okay, that is from the little program that prints this thing. So that's new sales department. So that shouldn't even be printed. Etch $2,500. Yeah, that's crazy. Most etch products are sold around the $600, $500. So
now we're condemning them for overpricing their junk fees.
right.
Anyway, I don't know how to advise the voters because I don't like to prejudice you, and we say we grade on the curve, and therefore we try to minimize our Fs and our As. I won't say any more, but there's one of those two I threw out that you probably wouldn't be minimizing, and and the other comment I have is that this is a combination. Usually we're talking about how much deception, lying, cheating, and stealing did we see in the report, but here we're talking about a combination of deception and incompetence. Mm-hmm. So
that's where I was going.
Where this isn't to measure the incompetence of a dealer, it's to measure the malintent of the dealer, accidental incompetence. Maybe we should have another show on accidental incompetence of dealers.
That'll be the title of the show.
Right.
That's great.
You can vote at 772-497-6530. Send your votes in. We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
All right, so here's my thoughts. I was thinking along the same lines as you. It was both. But I think you have to consider competence as well because it does have an effect on your life.
Sure.
So, Agent Lightning was getting paid to go there, and but most people aren't. And to spend 2 hours waiting and then days and days, it's a big waste of time. So I think they get dinged for that to a degree. It's not the same as dishonesty. That weighs much. That's a heavier value there.
Exactly.
But I'm going to fail them. I am. It's just like it was a lethal combination. It was a big waste of time for the shopper, and it was it wasn't a waste of time for us, but as a real customer, would it been a waste of time, and then there's some. I don't know, probably dishonesty.
Stu practically never gives an F, and neither do I, and we get very few Fs. So this will be interesting to see. What other reports do we have? Any votes coming in, Rick?
Oh yeah, we'll go for the text message ones first. John from Palm City says they get an F. The vehicle was traded in for an array of problems. Not worth it.
Yeah.
And Bob from Maryland says, should be sundown, not sunrise, Ford. This is a major F. How do they stay in business? Dead battery? Did they check for an electrical drain or alternator issue?
Yeah, it was a
Stay
bad truck,
away. And we have, T. Cash says, F. If the battery was stone cold dead, how did it start in the first place? Found on road dead still stands true 115 years later.
Let me ask you about this. That could that have happened? Like it had a zero load when they tested it, but they still started it at the lot. No, he jumped it at the lot.
Yeah, when you jump start a battery, it can start up and run. However, some batteries, if they're really damaged inside, will draw so much electricity that the alternator can't keep up. And then the car will die again.
So you've
got to replace
just enough
that
to
battery.
get you down the road and then leave you there.
Yes. And T. Cash goes on to say, it's time for the sun to set on Sunrise Ford.
Dun, dun, dun.
Ken Asher says, AAA gives you free window etching. What a ripoff. He didn't offer... Oh, yeah, here we go. He says, because you can't grade this car dealer a G, I would give him an F. Okay, over here we have, Tim Gilliland says, I do apologize. Please check with me in 6 days for a grade.
Where's Tim, man? I'm still waiting on that grade.
Donovan says, oh my God, look at those monthly payments. This is an easy F.
Oh, I didn't even look at the payments.
Johnny C. Fradley says, did they add a AAA membership add-on fee too? Sounds like they're going to need it. F for found on road dead. Tom Seckel, F. Terrible sales experience, ridiculous fees. I'd rather walk on US 1 than purchase from Sunrise Ford. Mark Ryan says F. Mark H says F minus. Almost criminal to try to sell the truck that way. Misaligned headlights, a safety issue.
Yeah.
Battery drain / check engine light. Buy it and oh, sorry, you bought it as is. Kim Appreciates Life says another Ford dealership equals F minus.
Ooh, that was harsh.
Folks, I'm I'm usually a softie.
I see Rick is.
No, it's F from me as well.
Join me in the mob.
Yeah, this truck was never inspected prior to letting a customer drive the vehicle, and you put customers into a dangerous situation
That wasn't good.
where they're literally having to walk on a busy highway called US 1.
You know, Earl and I talked about that this morning on our way in. My goodness. I just couldn't believe that.
Yeah. You know, they might have done a perfunctory inspection of that vehicle or a incompetent inspection, or they might not have inspected it. I don't know.
Couple others here from Frank at Jupiter Farms. He says, Sunrise Ford is like so many other dealerships with the junk fees. Since the vehicle starts with F, Ford, the grade is F, especially with the lack of curiosity and callback or lack thereof. And let's see. Oh, Steve simply said, Roadrunner Steve simply says, do not go to Planet Ripoff.
Right. Beep,
Meep,
beep.
meep.
Nancy?
Well, I see here by my notes that they forgot to put in the market adjustment fee.
Oh, they left that out.
They forgot the reconditioning fee. I mean, why didn't they just throw it all in there?
Total incompetence.
Total. That's what I was trying to point out. Anyway, I'm not going to waste any more time. They get an F. I'd give them a Z.
I got to go an F too, and this has got to be the worst grade we ever gave any car dealership.
Especially
Am I
from
right?
you and Stu.
No, we've given an F. We've given Fs.
But not this many Fs and not much.
Oh, a unanimous F?
And, yeah, not
You're probably
many.
right. I can't think of a unanimous.
And not the emotion with the F. I
Right.
mean,
I mean, it's also it was our listeners. It was drawn out of them. That was. Yeah.
we could start a new
It
thing.
angered people.
We could do a new thing on the website. The worst car dealership ever mystery shopped.
Well, I need to go. You know what?
the Napleton?
Yeah, I don't know about that. We're
Well,
getting.
Napleton probably would have been up until now. So
Napleton gets a lifetime achievement award.
Yeah.
I wish we don't record the votes. We just have the final grade.
Well,
we'd have to go back and watch the old.
Yeah.
Actually, we could probably get the transcripts and then run it in ChatGPT and say, "Find us the show that we're."
And by the
There you
way,
go.
this is owned by a woman who I've never heard of, and I can't find the name of it, her name. But it's a family that I have never seen own any car dealership, and they own several car dealerships. So we need to, if Stu can find that, well, before we have to say goodbye.
We got 2 minutes.
And Mark H., he recommends combat pay for Agent Lightning.
Yeah,
Boy, I'm telling
absolutely.
you.
Yeah, hazardous duty.
Combat.
Yeah.
For
She
sure.
kind of deserves a bonus for this
Bulletproof
one
vest.
for this week. Yep.
Yeah. Armored car. Absolutely. Okay, folks, I see by the clock that we're out of time. Thank you so much for joining us here at Earl on Cars. We'll be right back next week, same time, 8 a.m. Stay tuned. Have a beautiful weekend.